question, what would I do? I want you to really sit with this and think to yourself, what would I do differently today if I fully believed I'm already walking in overflow? Think of that. What would you be doing differently? I want you to sit with that. I want you to ask Holy Spirit to minister to your heart and to really give you revelation and divine download on exactly what you should be doing, right? Whatever it is, oftentimes it's the very thing that you're afraid to do. Hint, hint. It's the very thing that you're afraid to do is oftentimes the breakthrough. It's what you're afraid to say. It's what you're afraid to do. It's the action you're hesitant to take. The way the Lord broke down fear to me years ago is fear is force earnestly applying resistance. And so it's like an invisible force that forces you back and pushes you back. So force earnestly applying resistance, right? That's fear. And so the very thing that you should be doing is the very thing that wherever you're feeling resistance, wherever you're feeling that force of resistance, that is the very thing that you should be doing oftentimes. And so I really want you to sit with this question. All right. So we're going to be breaking down, I'm going to be giving you a sneak peek inside of my world and how I help my clients to really get to the roots of their issue. Right. So if my clients come to me and they haven't reached a breakthrough yet in a particular part of their business, yes, we talk strategy. And yes, we have so many tools to help with strategy, with marketing, with setting up your simplified sales funnel. But truly, what I pride myself on and what I love the most is the deep inner work that I do with my clients. And one of the tools that I use with them is the root system. The root system is such a powerful tool. It helps. I have another framework that I use that brings awareness to it's called the Believe Behavior Blueprint. That brings you awareness of how your thoughts are leading to your feelings are then leading to your actions, which are then birthing your results. But the root system is like a step deeper. The root system is where we go a level deeper to really get to the roots of where did this thought come from, right? How is it, not only how is it showing up and interfering in your business, but let's get to the root so that we can uproot it, unravel it, and reprogram your subconscious programming. Because if you have awareness, but you're not applying what you've become aware of, it's like pointless, right? So you got to think of your mind like a computer database. And so there are decades and decades and decades of programming, right, that you've acquired throughout the years, especially through a younger childhood. So your subconscious mind is wide open until the age of 7. And so everything as a young child, you are susceptible to its programming. It's all of your belief systems are oftentimes incorporated during those vital years in your life. And so this is the work that we do to really uproot some of those childhood programming, and really understanding that if you are operating from old programming, you want to think of your computer as a database. So if you never upgrade, if you never reprogram your mind, the computer will be sluggish, right? It'll be slow. It'll have glitches. It would have viruses. It wouldn't function at its optimal ability. And it's the same with your mind. It's the same with you as an individual. If you never take the time, this is why the Bible tells us in Romans 12:2 to reprogram your mind, right? Transform your life by reprogramming your mind, by renewing your mind. And so this is the work. This is the work. This is the real work. Okay. This is the real reason you're not hitting your consistent 10K months. So let's get to it. So the first R in the root system is reveal the root of the symptom. Reveal the root of the symptom. So right now, what that looks like for you is you're showing up, you're creating the content, but you know what it is? You're thinking, because you're not seeing the outcome that you want, you're not seeing the desire, you're not seeing the consistent 10K months yet, you're thinking like, oh, you're having thoughts like, oh, what am I doing wrong? Or you're having thoughts like, this isn't working for me, or I can't seem to get enough. And so there's thoughts there that are really rooted in scarcity, right? There's thoughts that are actually rooted in lack and scarcity. You're thinking like money isn't enough. You're thinking like you just can't, like you're chasing money. That's what it feels like for you. Like you're in your actions. It's like you're chasing money. You're chasing after it because you can't seem to break this 2K number. And so let me just look at my notes because I have a few notes here. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Oh, okay. So yeah, so you want to make sure that you are actually hitting this number. And so what that looks like now, so now when we look at the symptom is you striving, right? It's you, it's you really thinking like, okay, I'm chasing this money, I'm chasing this number. And when we go a step deeper, right? So now we reveal the root of the symptom. It's you're operating from a place of lack. You're operating from a place of scarcity. You're operating from a place of not enoughness when it comes to your finances and your business goals, right? And so the second step, the second phase is observe the origin of the seed. And so when we take it to a deeper level, now we're going to observe the origin of the seed. So I want you to think of, you reveal the root, you pull the root out, you're looking at the seed now, right? You're looking at all the roots and you're looking at the seed of that root. And so now you're looking and you're observing the origin of it and you're like, okay, where did this thought of lack, where did this belief of scarcity come from? And maybe this is where you dive deeper and you're like, oh, okay, when I was a child, my parents used to argue about money, right? Or my dad used to say, money doesn't grow on trees. Or my mom used to say, oh, we can't afford that. And so you've equated money with a lack of it. You've equated money with it being scarce. You've equated money with, oh, we can't afford that. It's for other people. And so because of it, you're having deep rooted subconscious beliefs about money being scarce. And that is why you can't seem to hit that threshold. You can't seem to pass that level of threshold that you're at, like you're capped. Your wealth capacity is capped at 2K because that's what your body internally feels safe with. If your body does not is not programmed or wired for more, for abundance, it's going to cap you to keep you safe because it's like, okay, we can't afford that, right? This is the level that we're comfortable at. And so this is where we're gonna stay. So even though you're doing everything to grow your business, you're showing up, you're creating the content, you're doing everything, internally, there's a block there and it's subconscious. You don't even realize that you're having this block. That's why it's subconscious. Thank you so much. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right. And so that's the O, or observe the origin of the seed. And then the second O in the root system is overturn the soil of sabotage. So this is where we look to see, okay, how have you been operating in your business in this scarcity, right? How has this been showing up in your actions? How has this been showing up in your business? And so oftentimes we uncover, so as a registered nurse and business coach, I'm very quick to be able to point out like when you're operating from a dysregulated nervous system. And so oftentimes if you're operating from like a place of scarcity and lack and you're chasing money and you're chasing this number, you're chasing this goal, you are oftentimes operating in fight mode, right? You're like, oh, I have to make it work. I got to make it work. I got to get this sale. I need this money. I need to be able to transition into my business full time. I want to resign in 2026. And so I'm going to hustle. I'm going to grind. I'm going to strive. You're going to force your way to this number, but that only leads to burnout, right? It only leads to burnout. And when you do show up in that energy of neediness, it repels the very clients you want, right? You're showing up with this energy of neediness. You're showing up with this energy of lack. And no matter what you're doing, your clients, your audience, they can feel it. When you create your content, if you're not creating content from a place of conviction and clarity and confidence, people feel that energy. And that's the very thing that's repelling.